By the way, there was one Shabbat in the summer we were outside when the newbies, like, we really, really just totally surprised. Yes, we were outside and we saw them come in. Totally a surprise. Um, oh yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. You've got to know me. I'm casual. Yeah. Good. Well, I'm really glad you're feeling better. Yeah, and then after they read candles, we sing it after the candle lesson. Yeah, right. I mean, I'll just come down. Like we usually just sing it from down here. But yeah, you can just jump in. Yeah. Okay. All right. I am ready. If you love your Talid. Have I seen that one? I don't know. That's really nice. It is a professional.
La 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 la. Page 10. Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be together. Welcome back to our cantorial soloist, Susan Glickman, who's been joining us once a month here on Shabbat. Oh, I was hoping you knew them. Welcome. Good to be together this Shabbat evening. Not only is it Shabbat, it is also Rosh Chodesh, the head of a new month, actually tonight. More on that to come. And welcome, of course, to many members and familiar faces. Welcome to those of you joining us on our live stream. And a special welcome to a guest, but not really a guest, who's going to light our Shabbat candles this evening, Patty Elliott, who is here all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Some of you know I moved here to Westwood from Tulsa, and this was a little bit of a surprise. Patty's here with her daughter. So we're going to turn to pages 2 and 3, and gosh, so it's probably been, I've been here 8 years. It's been about 8 years. So we're going to turn back to pages 2 and 3 as we bring in the light of Shabbat.
Yeah, why don't we read this verse right here? As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom again, as our days are getting a little bit lighter with each day. It's good to take notice of the Shabbat light, our special light that guides us on our day of rest and joy and peace. It's customary to welcome Shabbat with words of the Psalms, so we're going to turn now to page 13 for Psalm 96, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, adding some English words that you can find on your supplement page. And cantorial soloist Susan Glickman is going to teach this to us.
These words are so important right now. You don't have words. There's always music. It transcends. We sing. When we sing. We sing. We are one. We sing. We sing. We sing. We are one. We sing. We sing. When we sing twice, we pray twice. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one. Now the words, let's try it one more time. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we pray twice. When we sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one. Psalm 98. Shir Adonai, 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 Shir We sing, when we sing, when we sing, we are one.
We'll turn now to page 20 as we welcome the bride of Shabbat, the face of Shabbat, with Lecha Dodi. We'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on that last verse, if you're able, we'll face the doors to bring Shabbat in. Remain standing if you're able and turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish, leading us into our call to prayer.
Yitkadaha ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen. Ve'amad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam olam le'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei tekudsha b'richu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata,
tushbechata
v'nechemata, damira me'alma, V'yimeru, amen. Page 28. invite you to be seated as we join in our blessing for creation and the turning of seasons. On the top of page 31, we can read together, "Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows." Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. And we'll turn now to page 32 for Ahavat Olam. One of the benefits of having guest musical leaders as part of our worship here is also learning new melodies. So you can find the English words of Ahavat Olam also on the supplement.
Day and night, show us the way, teaching us to number our days, when we rise and when we lie down. Ahavat Olam, Yehem Chayenu.
Page 32. You're welcome to rise if it's your custom.
Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. We'll continue on page 36 with these words from Torah. You may be seated as we chant together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem Emet. I invite you to read with me on the very bottom of page 37, this commentary by Jewish philosopher Martin Buber, words that will lead us into our Song of the Sea. When people come to you for help, do not turn them off with pious words, saying, "Have faith and take your troubles to God." Act instead as if there were no God, as though there were only one person in all the world who could help, only yourself. And we turn to page 40 for Michamocha, words that come from the book of Torah. We are currently reading the book of Exodus, reminding us that according to the Midrash, God did not free the Israelites until that first person, Nachshon, took a step into the water, the partnership between humanity and God. Continue on page 42 as our thoughts turn to the darkness around us, to new days ahead. We especially extend the shelter of peace to Jerusalem and beyond, where Israel and Gaza especially need our prayers for peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Continue to celebrate this Shabbat day on the top of page 44 with Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Eil beit Israel, oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Yishrit et yabim as Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayirafash, Shabbat vayirafash, Shabbat vayirafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam berit olam.
We rise in body or in spirit as we move into our tefillah, or the central prayer of our service. We'll begin together in the Hebrew and pause for a few moments to add the prayers from our hearts. Page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geola Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Mechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai Mechayeh hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch ata Adonai ha'el Kadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We'll continue silently, either the words on the pages or the prayers from our hearts, and feel free to be seated when you are ready through the prayer for peace. Page 62. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
Yehiyu leratzon, imrevi, v'egyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu leratzon, imrevi, v'egyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, v'goali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, v'goali. Yehiyu leratzon,
We'll turn now to page 253 as we take this moment in our service to add a prayer for health and healing for those who are ill at this time. We are especially praying for these members of our Temple family: Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Essia Rushavskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Jerry Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Joseph Sands, Ethel Sharanow, Rhea Rebecca, Ida Kublin, Peter Lawrence, Sarah Bat David for Yosefia, Rosalind Slifka, Peggy Monroe, Phil Shapiro, Shayna Mannheimer, Sandy Grassfield, Richie Berg, Dorothy Lewis, Linda Wilson, Zusha, son of Anika Ahuva, Squirt, Ray Burton, and Mike Tereski. If there are other loved ones that you are praying for, you may share their names with us. Stephen Pastor as well, and we hold in our hearts those still being held captive in Gaza. Shabbat Shalom again. Also want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy Chinese New Year or happy Lunar New Year, which begins tomorrow. Perhaps you, like me, you've been hearing on the news all of the festivities for Lunar New Year around the Boston area, and I will just share during my years in the San Francisco Bay Area, Chinese New Year was bigger than January 1st. Now, if you think about it, Jews and Chinese people have more in common than just that we eat Chinese food on Christmas Day. We also share with the Chinese people that we celebrate our holidays according to a lunar solar calendar. Not just solar, not just lunar, but lunar solar. What do we mean by that? I decided tonight, I get so many questions here at Beth David all the time about why the Jewish holidays are early or late, or why they're always changing. And this year happens to be not only a leap year in the Jewish calendar, which is why the High Holy Days, if you've looked ahead, are way late in October next year, or this year. So not only a Jewish New Year, but also it is, of course, a leap year in the secular calendar or the Gregorian calendar, with an additional day in February, the shortest month, February 29th. By the way, my grandfather was born on February 29th and always celebrated his birthday on March 1st, but he was always joke about how young he was because he only counted his actual birthdays. Okay, I'm going to ask my lovely assistant Lisa to pass out a few texts for us tonight. So as she's making her way around, thank you so much, Lisa, I'll share with you that, I've been speaking a lot here on Shabbat, especially given the war in Israel. I've been giving some long talks and bigger sermons, and decided tonight to take a little break from our Torah portion and from some of these bigger events going on to have an interactive Devar Torah with all of you. So this is going to be a group effort here. If this looks like a lot, we'll try not to look ahead, but don't worry, we're not going to do everything. Some of this is for those of you who have greater interest in the topic. So on the top of the page, this says Jewish Standard Time. People joke about Jewish Standard Time being like running late, but this is Jewish Standard Time. The leap year and what it means for us today. So I just want to start by sharing a quote by famous Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who said, "Judaism claims that the way to nobility, or the way of lifting up the soul, is the art of sanctifying time." So Jews, we are known for both the art and the science of sanctifying time. So how did this all start? Where did this all begin? So we are in the book of Exodus right now. So I just want to start by reading kind of the beginning of Jewish time and this whole calculation of what today we would actually call a calendar. So it goes all the way back to the Torah, Exodus chapter 12. Adonai said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, "This month shall mark for you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first of the months of the year for you." Now, what seems strange about this? When is our Jewish New Year? September, this year October, right? Rosh Hashanah in the fall. But we're reading Exodus right now. Yes? So forget New England for a minute. In Israel, what season is it about to be? Spring. Yes. So biblically, Passover, or the Hebrew month of Nisan, the beginning of springtime, was actually the head of the year, the new year. Okay, let's keep going a little bit, and I'm going to be asking for some volunteers as well. So actually, maybe, if you don't mind me putting on, can I put you on the spot, Connie? Yes, is that okay? Okay, just because Connie is our head of religious practices here, so always a good leader for all of us. By the way, Connie, you'll have to meet my friend Patty, who's here from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who also, oh, you did? Oh, because, oh, great. Well, Patty also chaired religious, what we called ritual committee back in Tulsa, so you should definitely talk. Yes, soulmates. Okay, so we have Sforno, an interesting name, who was a medieval commentator who shared a little bit more about this verse from Exodus. With apologies to the live stream, I'll try to repeat what I can. Go ahead. Oh, you can, sorry, you can just do the English here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so according to the commentator, it logically makes a lot of sense why Nisan, springtime, the first month of our freedom, was actually the start of the year. Because as slaves, we couldn't even think about calculating our own days, right? When you're a slave, you don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. You just do as you're told. So the start of the Jewish New Year was linked to our holiday of freedom. Yes, makes sense? Okay, I'm going to just keep going with a little bit with Sforno because this one's a little bit longer. But also just, again, why Passover and the start of the new year is connected to spring specifically. Make sure that the month of Nisan always occurs in the spring by manipulating the calendar. So wait, I'm going to stop for a minute here. Now, if you know about the lunar calendar, right, it is about a month shorter than the solar calendar. So already by this time, and actually by the time of the Talmud and the rabbis, they figured out that if they didn't do something, right, because biblically the calendar went by the head of the month, but they figured out that if they didn't do something, Passover was not going to occur in springtime. So here we go. Make sure that the month of Nisan always occurs in the spring by manipulating the calendar. If necessary, and inserting an extra month of Adar. Adar is the month that occurs right before Nisan. By doing this, the solar orbit, or year, and the lunar orbits, 12 moons equaling a year, can be brought into line with each other. On the evening of the festival of Matzot, because it was God's will that your departure from Egypt should be at the time when the month, signaling the beginning of spring, should occur, astrologically, a time when the zodiac sign of the Lamb ascends in tandem with the sun and is opposite the moon, the latter symbolizing the Jewish people as opposed to the Egyptians who worship the sun. So a few things. I know this is a little complex, but first of all, Jews have always felt connection with the moon, going all the way back from creation. And we can see here that other cultures would worship the sun. So we wanted to stay connected to the moon. But again, we had to make a fix so that our holidays would occur in the right time. So interestingly enough, the Gregorian calendar, right, was based on the Julian calendar, which was based on the Roman calendar. So all along, this is thousands of years ago, people figured out the need to count time. And Jewish calendar, Chinese calendar, all occurring around, similar times in history. And Jews, we distinguished ourselves with this unique lunar solar calendar. So let's see. Do we have another volunteer to read this short passage from Mishnah Torah? This is Maimonides, who comes around a bit later to kind of teach us really what we're supposed to do. Any takers? Paul, thank you. Try to read loudly.
And this matter is a law of Moses from Sinai, that at a time that there is a Sanhedrin, we set the new month by sighting. And when the Sanhedrin does not exist, we set it according to this calculation that we use to calculate today, and we are not concerned about the sight.
Okay, so remember, before there was the calculation and an actual calendar, people did this by sight. So, right, this is well documented that people would literally look to the sun or look to the moon to figure out what day it was. And in the Jewish community, there would be a blast of the shofar when it was the head of the new month, and people would keep blasting so that everyone could hear it, right? We couldn't call each other. Now, what's the problem with this? What's the problem with this method? What? Depends on where you live, yes. Because how far is that shofar blast really going to go? What's the other problem? The weather, yes. What if you can't see the moon or the sun, right? The weather may mess this up. And the third problem is just simply human error. What if you forget, right? You don't have your alarm to remind you. So they figured out pretty early on that leaving it up to just sight was not going to work so well, because the whole point of this was to bring community together to celebrate the holidays. Okay. Few more pieces to get us to today. So this is only if you're interested. The types of yearly calendars. As I was typing this out, I said to myself, gosh, I hope that Gary Schillen, our temple treasurer, is going to come tonight, because this is a lot of numbers. And I became a rabbi, so I wouldn't have to do a lot of numbers. So if you're interested, you can sort of see the calculation here. And again, in the solar calendar, makes sense that we have to add that day every 4 years. It's a bit more mathematical. Again, the lunar one is a little bit more complex. So why lunisolar is bolded is because, flip the page, we get to now the Jewish leap year. Okay, so actually, since this is a lot of numbers, Gary, you want to read this for us? All right.
The average length of the synodic month is 29.530589 days. Thus, it is convenient if months are in general, alternatively 29 and 30 days, sometimes termed respectively hollow and full. Hence, the period of 12 lunar months equals 354.37 days.
So by the way, this is calculated down to these decimal points. Pretty impressive. Okay, I'm going to read the next paragraph because it has some Hebrew, but then you're going to finish up about how many times in the Jewish year there's a leap year. The Jewish leap year referred to in Hebrew as Shana Me'uberet, a pregnant year. So rabbis used female. Yeah, this is true. I'm not making this up. Rabbis used female imagery and metaphor for the year. So the pregnant year has 13 months, not 12. There are 29 or 30 days in each month in a Jewish leap year, which has 383, 384, or 385 days. By the way, this also, in case you wonder why there are sometimes double Torah portions, this is also connected because depending on the year, there are more or less Shabbat weekends. Okay, an extra month, Adar 1 or Adar Aleph, is added after the month of Shabbat. So that was like Tu B'Shvat, like the last month, and before the month of Adar 2 or Adar Bet in the leap year. Now, if you're wondering why it's Adar 1 that's added, not Adar 2, hold that thought, because really it would make sense that Adar 2 is added. But okay, hold that thought. According to Jewish tradition, Adar is a lucky and happy month, right? So we know that the Talmud says when you begin Adar, you should increase your happiness. So in a Jewish leap year, it's actually 2 months of joy and happiness and partying. Okay, Gary, read our last sentence here.
A Jewish leap year occurs 7 times in a 19-year cycle. The 3rd, 6th, 8th, 11th, 14th, 17th, and 19th years are leap years in this cycle.
Okay, again, someone with better math skills than myself will need to figure out how they got that. But again, pretty impressive. This goes back thousands of years that they figured this out. Again, we can come back to any of this during the Oneg, but also want to make sure we get to the Oneg. So two more classical texts, and then we'll bring this to today. So back to our friend Maimonides, who is going to answer the question about why the addition is really the first of Adar and not the second. So I'll share this, and then I'm going to ask for one more volunteer. A leap year is a year to which an extra month is added. Only Adar is the month that is ever added. Oh, in case you were wondering why we don't have like an extra month of Kislev, right? Like 2 Hanukkahs. Okay. Why is just this month added? Because of the spring season. So we're going to go back to Exodus. So that Passover should be observed during the barley or during the spring season, as it is written, observe the month of Aviv and keep the Passover. Aviv is spring. Implying that this month of Nisan should occur during the spring. Without the addition of this month of Adar, which is right before Nisan, Passover would occur sometimes in the summer and sometimes even in the rainy season of winter, right? So over time, it would keep speeding up. Okay, last volunteer for now to read from us from the Talmud. So you can imagine the rabbis of the Talmud asked, well, what do you do with Purim, right? Like, if it were, do you have 2 Purims? So let's see, do we have one other volunteer to read us from Talmud Megillah, kind of like the Megillah of Esther, but this is the Talmud to tell us actually how to read the Megillah. Any volunteers? Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Mishnah, if the year was then interpolated by the court, and now the following month would be the second Adar, one reads the Megillah during the second Adar. Rabbi Kavi said, the reason for the opinion of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is that juxtaposing the celebration of one redemption to the celebration of another redemption, Passover, is preferable.
So do we get to have 2 Purims? No, we get to have 2 Adars, but only one Purim celebration, which is in Adar Bet, which is why Adar, the first Adar is really the addition, because the rabbis wanted to link together these 2 celebratory holidays, right? Both holidays, it's the old joke, they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. So, so even though in a Jewish leap year we get these 2 months of joy and gladness, only one celebration of Purim. So can think about that for this year. I'm just going to share some concluding thoughts from contemporary perspectives. And that big calendar page on the back is for those of you who are more interested in this notion. You can take that home and read it yourselves. By the way, if there's anyone on live stream watching our service, if you would like a copy of our text from tonight, I've got some extra copies here. Just email me. I'd be glad to get you a copy. So in a beautiful book called The Tapestry of Jewish Time by Rabbi Nina Beth Cardin, who is a rabbi still alive today, she writes the following. The first day presented no management problems. It was all there was, day 1. But then there were 2 days that had to be ordered and numbered. When there were more, they needed to be named, labeled, and cataloged. Eventually, people created calendars. Calendars help us bundle time in finite packages, segmenting the infinite in ways we can comprehend, right? So if you really think about it, time is a big mystery. So calendars help us understand it and break it down a little bit. They give us a way to plot our location in this endless sea, telling us what to call today, how to count tomorrow, and how to speak of one particular yesterday. Calendars not only help us name time, they also help us mark time in unison. They help us agree on what day today is, when the World Series will be played, or the Super Bowl, as this weekend shows, and how old we are. Time may belong to the heavens, but calendars are the work of humans and cultures. Each calendar reflects the stories and the beliefs of the people who created it. Each community and culture imposes its particular story on the universal experience of time. Today, the world shares one coordinated global calendar, and we can all access it on our phones. Yet, as Jews, we also mark time according to our own reckoning. And so when you think about this overlay of the leap year that's only 1 day and the Jewish leap year that's a whole month, it really reminds us of our unique identity and differences. And although this can be hard at times, right, when like Rosh Hashanah does fall during the World Series, it is a reminder that we have our own special calendar that tells our stories, just like Rabbi Cardin said. And these stories reflect our history, they reflect our community, and they reflect where we see ourselves going as a people. So to end, there's a modern poem by Israeli poet Dalia Ravikovich on the back, which I will let you read on your own. It's a little bit personal, that just speaks to how our own lives mimic the seasons of the world and of the year. And I will end, actually, that English of Ahavat Olam is a reference to Psalm 90, verse 12, which I included here to end. The Psalms remind us, teach us to number our days that we may obtain a heart of wisdom. And so the point of all of this counting, and there is a science in it, I'm going to, again, leave that to you, the numbers people to figure out. But again, back to Heschel, there's also a very fine art to counting that hopefully reminds us of the sanctity of our lives, the spirituality of our lives, and how to make each day count and matter. Shabbat Shalom. So Tonight is, and again, this coincides with Chinese New Year and the Lunar New Year. So tonight is Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month of Adar 1. So I want to invite you as we move to our concluding prayers this evening to join me in the Rosh Chodesh blessing, which you can find on page 261. 261. And I invite you to join me in the English in the middle of the page. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Rosh Chodesh Adar Aleph, the first Adar, Yihya Hayom, or Hu Hayom. The new month of first Adar begins this evening into tomorrow. If you look at all of the greetings around Lunar New Year for the Chinese community, a lot of the same wishes for the new year in terms of prosperity, blessing, goodness, health. A little different than our secular celebration. Again, Chodesh Tov, a good month ahead, and a month from now we'll add on Adar Bet. Again, making Passover seem quite late this year, as well as our High Holy Days. And again, this is an extreme cycle. So Hanukkah this year will fall overlapping Christmas, and then in a year we'll start to cycle back earlier. All right. I want to invite you again, if you are able, to rise for Aleinu. We are on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tei gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye aratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchalkenu kahem, V'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'ayah Lamelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
We remained standing, if you are able, and turn to page 294 as we take this moment to remember loved ones who are no longer with us. We are especially remembering these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occur this week and Shabbat. We remember Sue Cohen, Edna Gordon, Helen Greenberg, Ruth Vogel Harris, Sally Horvitz, Ruth Lisbon, Margit Lienher Lustig, Philip Pinky Marsh, Sylvia Oppenheim, Florence Schreiber, Isidore Shapiro, Murray Soroka. If there are other loved ones, other names that you are remembering, you may share them with our community. And we join together as we bless the source of all life, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Amen. You can leave your finger on that page as we turn back to page 5. And actually, I forgot announcements, so you can be seated for just a moment. Shabbat morning continues 9 a.m. with our lay-led minyan tomorrow in the library. And for our members with young children, 4:30 p.m., I will be here in pajamas. We've got a PJ Havdalah, ending Shabbat in PJs and our Havdalah blessings as we say goodbye to Shabbat. This Sunday morning, we have our Shorashim Religious School. And I am offering at 10 a.m. for any adults. We're going to have a check-in discussion about Israel, about Jewish life here, what is happening in our world, current news, and how we are feeling and responding to it. So open to all adults, 10 a.m. There will be coffee. Please do read your weekly shofar for a lot of other things coming up. Next weekend, special program with our own Temple member, Josh Brogadier, along with breakfast, sponsored by Brotherhood. And Josh is on WCVB News, sports reporter, so sharing more of his story. And next Shabbat, I do want to give a very special thank you to our rabbinic intern, Eli Sheva, as well as Cantor Louise Treitman. They will both be here leading Shabbat as my family will be heading west for the break. I forgot, this Sunday also you can study Introduction to Musar, amazing field of Jewish values and personal connections with Eli Sheva, our rabbinic intern. That is at 11:45. This is a one-time series. You got to come this Sunday, one-time class. And if you've never studied Musar, it will change your life, really. It's the best way to think about how Judaism applies to our lives today. There's probably a lot of other things that I'm forgetting. I apologize, but it's been a long week. But it's all in your weekly shofar. It is all there. That's all you have to do is read it when it comes out on Wednesday morning. But yes, things will be a little quieter at the end of February. And then we are back in March with our Scholar in Residence, Shabbat Babayit, Shabbat in the Home on March 8th. Sign up if you want to participate, and lots more to come. We are going to turn now to page, you already are there, page 5. Again, just a lot of gratitude to cantoral soloist Susan Glickman for beautiful music this evening, voice, guitar, getting all of us to sing, and thank you. Look forward to your return in the spring. Right, see, seasons are always a little different here in New England too, because sometimes Passover has felt like winter, but hopefully this year, with it being so late, although it's really not late. It's in its right time, as we know, but maybe it will actually be springtime here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemigrae kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. I want to invite you as no kids tonight. We had many last week, but want to invite you to rise to join me in Motzi as Susan is gearing up for Oseh Shalom on guitar. We do have our Oneg Shabbat in our social hall right next door. You can grab a cookie, meet someone new. Thank you, as always, to our ushers and greeters, Lisa Altman, Gary Schillen. Again, we always need volunteers. You can sponsor an Oneg. Look online. It's all there. Let's join in our blessing, and we'll bring this out to our social hall. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lecha min haaretz Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks for joining me in singing tonight. Oseh Shalom B'roba, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Be'ago Yisrael, Be'ago Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imnu
Shabbat Shalom. Chodesh Tov.
Shalom.